Yeah.
Yo, you're through to it's your boy KB, Osman Nobi, and Mal. We're here with another episode of Inside Thoughts. How are you guys doing today?
We are doing good, and I'm ready for takeoff.
That's good.
I am decent. It's raining. It's great outside, but hey,
It's raining.
freaking perfect. That's England for you.
Yeah.
What about yourself, man?
Oh, yeah, no, I'm doing fine. I had lots of plans today, but if it's raining, I might not have lots of plans. Bit worried about that. But yeah, no, things are good. All
That's
right,
good.
so
Everybody's good. Let's do
Everybody's
this.
good. Let's get on it. And today's topic is growing up, or should we say growing up black? Should we say it like that? All right. So today's
Yeah,
topic
growing up black.
on
That's a
Inside
nice ring
Thoughts is
to it.
growing up black. All right.
Awesome.
I think we should start with Malachi because
Mm.
he light skin. I wonder how a light skin grows up, I wish I was light skin every now and then. They just walk in the room, they just get free food, free money, take any girl they want. So I want to start off with the Lord light skin himself. Let's hear this. Growing up light skin.
okay, I don't know what your idea is about, but growing up, I was the nerdy kid. I was the kid. I was the kid that actually got told I couldn't play things like
Wait, hold on. Did you just say was?
Yeah, I was the nerdy kid. Now I'm just me.
Still nerdy, bro. What carry?
But yeah, so basically, I could be awkward at times, but it was mainly because growing up, I had what I like to think is I had a good childhood, but I also had a very sheltered one. Not sheltered in the sense that I didn't know the troubles of the world, but sheltered in the sense that whereas a lot of my friends, like my school friends and even my friends from out in the area, they were allowed to, whenever they were like, this was like 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. I mean, nowadays, look at people that age and I'm like, damn straight, I wasn't allowed to go to them places. What? No. But at the time, I was like, I can't go to those places because my mom's one rule is if I can't see our bedroom window, I've gone too far. And honestly, I don't want to find out what happens when you go too far because we all got beat as a kid, like not severely. They're just enough to realize that you shouldn't do it again.
Beats, licks, all of that.
But like people, but like also so people, so whereas people would go out all about the places, whether they're at school or things, I didn't really have that. It was like if you wanted to see me, you had to come to see me. I couldn't really go nowhere. I couldn't really go beyond that point until I was about 15, and then I guess that's where like. But before that, I always knew to sort of like, because I've not been sheltered from racial abuse and stuff like that, because I still had to go back and forth from school and that kind of stuff. The stick, whether it was adults calling me a dirty monkey from out the window, and I'm just a kid going to school in my school uniform, 8 o'clock in the morning. That kind of things weren't that, or whether it's that. But generally speaking, because of the things in the world is what we're trying to discuss, it was the case that I felt like I had it good, and then it was only sort of. I don't know. Yeah. I don't know what you guys want to say. You say start with me. When you say start with me, what do you want to talk about?
He didn't specify like what he actually wanted to know. So I think it's better if you like actually ask something specific about his childhood.
Yeah.
Well, I think what's it like being light skinned, having a light skinned self, doing a light skin background in your household? What's it like to be 15, 14, 13, grabbing all types of girls of your choice whenever you feel like it? What's it like being light skinned growing up? Let's start from the age of 9. Let's go from there. Yeah, 9 to 16. Let's go from there. Yeah, that's
9 to 16. That's 7 years.
That's a good one.
That's a big gap, though. Come on.
That's 7 years.
Hey, you can start from 9 years old. How you saw life and how it was. You thought, big kid doing things.
But how do you mean?
Let me try to ask a question like this. When did you realize you were light skinned? Let's just put it that way.
When did I realize I was light skinned?
No, in terms of hear me out, because there will be a time where like you are going all your life, you would just Malachi, and then say there's a certain point where somebody differentiates you from say the rest of the people. Like for me, for example, I was just like Oz all the time, and then there was like, holy shit, you are so black, and I was like, oh, wow. I guess I am. something like that. So like I'm wondering if you had an experience like that growing up, and you're like, oh, because I think at some point something clicks when you're growing up to be like, oh, I'm maybe rich or poor, I'm black or white or on this. Like, when did you realize, and how did that make you feel?
So no, I think personally speaking, from what my mum tells me as well, is that
Yeah.
ever since I could talk, I've always been
Mm.
aware of color. Not in the sense that color means anything, but in the sense that I'm aware of color. It was like I used to find it strange. Like I used to try and get my mum to explain to me is why white people called white and why we call black.
Yeah.
Because I'm not black, I'm brown, and they're not white, they're pink. That's what I used to say. That's just what I used to say. And that's how I always saw it.
That's the basic way of seeing it. Yeah, I'm gonna agree with that one.
I didn't actually learn. I didn't actually realize anything about. I didn't realize a difference in it until I guess like where the negative impacts of it. I'm trying to find a way to say it without thing. I never realized in the sense of that my color could be a disadvantage towards me in the sense that I could be persecuted for it. I didn't really get that until I went to school. And it's not even like, it wasn't like infant school still wasn't a thing. I was just me, and they were just them. It was like, it was sort of towards, I think when I was like 8, 9-ish is when kids started to get a grip on what they feel based on what their parents feel. I feel like there's no such thing as a racist kid. They're just being copy their parents. When you're a kid, you copy the people you trust most.
True.
And either you're watching your parents then, or the parents are letting you watch some stuff that you should be watching, you know? That's the whole, but like it was something around about then. And to be honest, I can't even tell you the reason why it was. It's just one of those things that I tend to try and zone it out, I guess.
Okay.
What about yourself? Let's see.
There's 2 of us.
Come
on, you want to take that one?
You asked the question, so okay. What would you guys like to know?
Because you went. Yeah, well, you was so until when you turned 5, you moved to America. Yeah, and now
that's right.
As long as I feel like England, in terms of when it comes to race, is a lot more. It's a lot more subtle. It's a lot more sly. Like you know it's happening, they know it's happening, but if you was just to record it and someone was oblivious, they might not even see what's happening. Yeah. Whereas America's more broad and out there. You know, it's not quite South Africa back in the day, but it is. Not South Africa apartheid, but it is pretty close. So, what about yourself? As an English person moving to America at the age of 5.
For me, I think it all kicked off between the age of 8 and 10, really, because I think my mum, like, obviously I was homeschooled for a certain amount of time in my life. So my mum had me read every type of book, science, history. And I think history kind of like got to me because I was reading about Nat Turner, Frederick Douglass and all that type of stuff. And I was thinking, this is like some deep stuff. And what they go through is truly magnificent story-wise. But when you really look at it as growing up black, for me, it was, if you had education, you know right from wrong. Like for me, it was, okay, I can read, I can write. And being a black kid that can do those both things was like, it's like a huge gift. Because some people at the age of 40 or 30 could not read or could not write either one. They couldn't do those things when I was growing up. So having education was really, really a truly big thing back when I was younger. And then separating it, now you got the history books, you got the education, you know, wrong from right. I think where I grew up, I moved around a lot of cities and so a lot of towns and cities in Georgia. So Atlanta, Macon, Eatonton. I've been in a lot of counties. So and me, I really grew up in the countryside where there's rednecks and you got the Hispanics and Latins, the Mexican side. And for me, it was, why do we all got to be separated? Why can't we just be cool with each other? And as I got older, I realized, wow, racism is such a big thing. Like when you look at it in the history books, you think, okay, that's back in the day, and now we're like in 2002, something like, we're thinking, what's going on now? So as a kid, for me, I couldn't understand why we were so like separated from each other, why we rather than be cool with each other, you know what I mean? So I think when I turned 13, I kind of understood it because at the time, rednecks were like around me. So I kind of got to know, okay, they like that side of their life. They like that's their thing in a way, saying that Nigger word and just going crazy with it, and this being like it's very different towards the Mexicans who are very cultured and and yet the black people that were just it's just for me it was just weird how having seen people separated. But what I realized in the black community back in those days, we would stick together no matter what. We always have mutual respect for each other, regardless of how old you were or what you look like.
Yeah.
This is the black community, and this is like we're gonna look out for you regardless of where you're from, who you are. This is it. So that's what it was for me really. Coming back to England was a whole different scenario because, like I said, I only seen majority of like Mexicans, whites, and blacks. So when I come over here, I'm thinking, wow, this is different. Like, I got some African brothers, I got some Somali brothers, I got some Asian brothers. I'm thinking, wow, this is a nice mix. And like for me, it just popped up. So I was like, okay, I'm intrigued again. I feel like a young kid that's going around wanting to know each and every culture. And as I got older, it just I think nowadays with the whole social media and stuff like racism can be so crazy. But for me growing up, it was just learning like different cultures and getting to understand one another and why they do this and why they do that. And like Malachi said, it was just, I don't think kids our age were racist. It's just like, they were just like, in the mix of it, of having those parents or people around them they trust and follow their ways. So that's my opinion of it. That's me growing up black.
Yeah.
That's really interesting.
And getting kicked out by the aunties and uncles. I remember that. That was
Oh, I guess my goal.
Now let's move on. Next question. Let's do this. Go.
My one is I think it's totally different from all of you. So I grew up in Gambia, and it wasn't. I wouldn't say race wasn't a factor or being black wasn't a thing because it was, and we had different shades, but it was recognized and it was acknowledged. So it's like if someone's dark, you'd be like, oh, that person's dark. If someone's light skinned, they said that person's light skinned, and it wasn't said in a way like, oh, you're different, therefore we're gonna hate you or something. It was just like you just are. We like it was unspoken that there's so many shades and stuff like that. Even as a kid, because I remember the first time I saw white people, it was the strangest thing. Because like where I'm from, it's just a sea of black people. Like so, like if you were white and you came, you stood out. And I just remember, oh, they're white people, but like nothing ever like clicked in my head that they were different. To me, they were just people. They had different colors, and it was weird. All of them had their t-shirts off. I didn't know about tanning then, so it was like. Yeah, so in terms of like racism, I would say growing up, tanning, I had no idea what it was. So it was like strange to just see them have the shirts off under the sun and just walking about, and it was the weirdest thing, like strangest thing ever.
Yeah.
So in terms of racism, I don't think I ever experienced it in Gambia. So in a way, I was really sheltered until I watched Roots. And I remember that like just did like a big old flip because like I don't think I was old enough to watch it. I just happened to watch it in school. I don't know how I came to watch it, but I watched it with friends, and I remember being like very angry. And I remember a lot of people were like, "Oh my God, we hate white people. They're like the worst, this and this." And I remember being like one of those people, and because I'd never talked about it with my parents or anything, it was in me for a while. But as I was growing up, I began like learning and then knowing what actually happened, the history, all of those things. So I don't think I actually like felt black till I came to England. And funny enough, the first person who was racist to me was black like me. And it was really weird because I was going to school and I had the speech like, be careful, you're not from here, you're very dark, like people are going to be, especially the white people are going to be so racist to you, this and this. So I went to school with that like mentality, like shit, fuck, I should be guarded. And then the person who was really racist to me was some guy. He was black like me, but he's like fairer skin. But he was still, you could tell he was black, but he was just like me, I'm like super dark, and he just like saw me, and I think he just decided to hate me. And I think it was the weirdest feeling ever. Because in my head, I was thinking, dude, you're black too. Like, what is wrong with you? But yeah, that's basically the general summary. I didn't know a lot about race or racism until I came here. So like,
Didn't
I
you say you
became
lived near an
black.
island that had?
Hmm?
Didn't you say you lived near one of the islands where they kept?
Yeah. So I mentioned earlier when I was growing up, I started learning more about slavery. So where I'm from, Gambia, is basically the movie Roots. The guy Kunta Kinte is actually from my country, and I remember going to I forgot the name of the fort. It's called Kunta Kinte Island now, but it used to be called after it used to be named after some white dude, and it was where they would keep slaves, and then before they shipped them out, they'll put them in like a tiny box, 15, 20, or 30 of them like cramped in there before they shipped them out. So yeah, so basically I started learning slavery that way. And I remember always having this like question in my head, like, why would human beings do this to their fellow human beings? And then people were justifying it because you look different. And I'm thinking that's one of the stupidest thing a person can say.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, it's just like saying, hey, your fucking heart is blue, therefore mine is red. I'm gonna hate you for it. It's the dumbest thing ever, and I still don't understand it. But that's the general summary of me growing up black. I officially became black when I came to England,
I've said,
and I've
talking about that. That's the
yeah,
thing. That's one of those things
yeah,
that it happens. Like you'll get in America, they have African Americans. In England, you have
yeah,
Black British or Afro Caribbean, as they call us.
Yeah, that's so weird to me today.
Yeah, but the thing is,
me too.
it's the case of what I was saying
Yeah,
before is when I say before, I mean before this chat when I was speaking to you in another conversation,
yeah,
is that yeah, it's the reason why. Like on one hand, I'm like, what's it? Why do people get so offended? Like not offended, but you see, whenever you see someone, when you ask a white person, yeah, how someone who they're talking about, they'll always go something like they'll be like, you know, the guy, he's tall, he's got quite broad shoulders, you know,
6'3",
and then they'll be like, yeah, he's you know, like
yeah,
it's like, yeah, it's like you can say black. There's no offense to the word black, but then looking into it, there's offense in the word black. There's also offense in the word white itself because it's also used as a weapon. So black,
it is, yeah, yeah.
it's the sense of like black is only used in Western civilizations, things like that. Because if you were in Gambia, like you grew up Gambian, you didn't grow up black, you grew up Gambian. You know, you might have been black as far as what you'd be called over here, but you were Gambian. If you went to Egypt, you'd go, oh yeah, no, I'm Gambian. If someone from Egypt went down to, I'm trying to think of somewhere. I'm trying to stay away from South Africa because I know that's a whole different situation. But you know, you went somewhere else, like if you went Kenya, then they'd be like, oh yeah, I'm Egyptian. Like if you went to Ghana, they'd be I'm Kenyan. You know, you're not black. You're where you're from. Essentially, same everywhere else. Like an English person say they're English, but if I say I'm English, I've quite a few times have been asked, yeah, where are your
parents from though?
Yeah, and I'm like, yeah, and then I've got where are your parents from? I'm like, my parents were also born in England. In fact, they were born in the same town that I was born in. Like, okay, then they go, okay, they don't leave it there either. They go, well, where are your grandparents from? Oh, no, that's where it gets interesting. I'm gonna tell you where my grandparents are from. Oh, yeah, they're from the islands, you know, and from Ireland, you know. You got Irish. you got. There's a piece of Scottish there. Like my nan, like my nan that was white. Was like she was like a mix of like Ireland, Scottish, and English. Yeah. Couldn't tell you the exact mix, but that's her. So I got those sides of islands, but then obviously you got the Grenadian, Bajan, and Jamaican.
Yeah.
All that. Yeah. And it's like that, but it's like those sorts of things. But like I'm still referred to as black, and like in some circumstances, because slavery was that stretch, like started 400 years ago. And I think certain people don't know where they come from. So then they have to be referred to. So then that's why they're referred to as African Americans. Like, I know you came from that continent. Yeah. Not quite sure where that, but you know, and now you're here.
Right, exactly. Yeah. There's literally 54 countries in Africa. So it's going to be too much to go, hey, I don't know, Ghanaian American or something. Why can't they just not be Americans? Yeah. The funny thing is the actual Americans are the natives, as they're called, which is actually what it means. But it's like almost a double standard to go Native Americans. Like they're just Americans. Like that's
they're just Americans. But you don't call yourself European American. You don't say, I'm Anglo-Saxon American. You don't go, I'm Spanish American. You don't go, I'm French American. You just go, oh no, I'm American. I was born here. It's like,
Yeah.
even if you settled 400 years ago, you still came from somewhere else.
Yeah.
It's everybody else came. It's the natives that were like they were there like from the beginning. So it's weird to me when I hear African Americans. But you know, earlier when we said about being black coming here, I remember being so weird when I was filling a form and it was telling me about my ethnicity. What are you? And I'm seeing all those, are you African, Caribbean? And I literally was there like, this is weird.
Yeah, like, so weird and confusing.
Yeah, none of these.
And I just remember feeling so uneasy, like, because when I came, I had to fill so many forms. So I was just there, like, looking at that. That always bothered me because I was just like, why does this matter?
You think to yourself, I'll leave that. I'll do the rest of the form. I'll come back to it.
Yeah,
What the hell?
I actually do. I do. And I had to, and because like there's no like just African. Now there is, but when I had it, there was just not African on its own. I was just like, but what am I? And so it's like black. It's either it's black, British, black, Afro Caribbean, or something like. There's a combination. I'm just like, still not. It doesn't apply to me. Like, why couldn't it just be simple as black? That's it. Like, you can click it, you can tick it, or you don't. Like, simple as. But it was weird. I've never had to fill my ethnicity in Gambia. It's just your name, where you lived, and that's it.
It's the case that it's like as in Eastern, Central, in anywhere else in the world that's not Western culture, you are where you're from. That's it. That's as far as it goes. But like,
or your tribe.
This is where you become. I'm not. I'll say I've been black my whole life. But that's because I've lived here my whole life. But if I was born anywhere else and I'd come here, until I came here, I would be just that country.
You'd be where you came from, and sometimes your tribe. It's not very like, how would I put it? It's like how we see it is, we know that we're aware of our differences, but that is never used against anybody else. Yeah. So an example I would give you is, say, okay, so my tribe is Wolof. Doesn't mean shit. It just means that's the language. But like the tribe I was born in is a language we speak, and then there's another tribe that speaks a different language. And the beauty about it is we actually make effort to learn a few words from like each language so we can communicate better. There was a time I could actually speak multiple languages. I can speak Wolof, and I could speak a little bit of another tribe called Mandinka. I think they're the biggest tribe in my country. We are aware of like the tribes and the differences. There's a few anonymity between some tribes because people are people, but it's never like front and center. It's like, oh, hey, so you got this tribe, this tribe, you guys do this, you guys do that, and everybody will crack a joke. And it's like such a beautiful thing I've never noticed till I came out of it. And I came here and I realized, oh, people concentrate on what makes us different more, and they're serious about it rather than say, oh, hey, we're different, but it's cool. This is me, this is you. Like, it doesn't matter. But yeah. I have a question for you guys.
Before that,
you ever?
We want to just get one point across as well, because I did speak about black, but when it comes to white as well, that's also equally as weaponized. Like, did you know that Mexicans used to be white?
Really?
Yeah. Well, you got to remember, Mexicans
I didn't know that.
Come from Spain. Yeah. The Canadians come from France, and the United States come from England, and sometimes some of the countries like Denmark, Sweden, stuff like that.
The Mexicans were there. They got breeded with the Spanish people. The Spanish people raped a lot of people, and
but the reason why Mexicans
don't forget that.
But the reason why Mexicans are no longer classed as white was because going towards it was a few years before the abolishment of slavery. Essentially, what black people were doing, they were running across the Mexican border, and they're running into Mexico to their freedom. So obviously, some people went north once that was declared, but some people actually just went south and they went into the Mexican border. And America had actually tried to sign a treaty with Mexico that would allow for them to go in to Mexico to retrieve their slaves. And Mexico, the prime minister, president, whatever, the person in charge of Mexico at that time did happen to be black, which might have been the case. But at the same time, basically what it was is they said, no, we're not doing that. You're not coming in to retrieve your slaves. If they make it across to Mexico, they're free. And that's when Mexicans stop being white. It's the same thing. Now, systematically, depending on which country you're from, Italians never used to be white. Yeah,
that's true. I know that.
Yeah, the Italians were only ever the only Italians achieved their whiteness through the lie of Colombia. I'm not saying Italians shouldn't be classed as Italians are Italians. That's it. I'm not making any points there.
That's how I see it as well.
They got to, in the sense of the Western culture, they got to be white through the course of their because of in America. They said actually Colombia, one of he was he found this place. It's like Colombia settled on the island. Colombia went to the Caribbean islands. People, the locals there offered him food and stuff like that, and he slaughtered them. And he slaughtered them until these days that he died. He never set foot on America. But that was how they got their status as white, as class in America. Other countries, the other people that get to be white as such, countries that you just don't want to mess with. So you've got like Greece, who had some of the greatest history in terms of, I'm getting a call, has some of the greatest histories in terms of war,
they're the biggest warriors, greatest warriors and stuff.
Exactly. So the only people that got to be white were those that were light enough that could be considered. I mean, like, because most Greeks are like olive skinned. I'd just call them Greek. But it's the case of either you was English and one of those people in that small circle of people that were kind of white, because like even like Polish, Latvian, Lithuanian people, they don't get called white.
Actually, I've noticed that. I've noticed that they get called by where they're from. Because I don't want to speak in about. I was speaking with someone and I was literally saying like white people from Poland, and the person was like Polish. I'm like, yeah, but they're white though. And the person was insisted they're Polish, and I was like,
they're still white.
They're still white to me. They're still white. Although when you mentioned the Mexicans, actually, I realized that me personally, I actually don't think of Mexicans as white.
No, you wouldn't.
Even though most of them are. And this is how easy it is to, I'd say, influence people, because like there are so many things that you don't think or consider, but like it's in your head or it's in your mind. It's insane. Yeah.
It's because it's these things are not they're used to. So black is used as a term because it's like, sorry, we've messed with your history so bad, we actually don't know where you're from, so we're just gonna call you black. And white was a weapon to be like, you can be white if you benefit us, but if you don't, or if you don't have the power to get that stance to say you're white, you ain't white. Like that. It's like,
I think the whole system of caste system, race, is one of like the biggest flaws we have as humans. It's like I feel like if we literally came together, as impossible as that sounds, we would have been like somewhere amazing, probably conquering galaxy or something. Literally. I say exploring, not conquering.
Conquering. That goes right back to human nature. It's like, we want to fight something. We just should stop fighting each other.
I say explore rather than conquer. Like we would have been like doing awesome things, but like I think it's like because the fact that people are separated, there is like some individuals who benefit from that. For example, let's say if you're like a weapons company, it would not benefit you if the world's in peace. So you would try to do whatever you can to incite. Exactly. So like, who's just gonna be like, oh, this is $1 trillion industry, we're just gonna like shut up and like not. Like lose all that money. So like I don't know, there's so many things that are combined in terms of race and stuff like that. But going back to growing up black, my question was going to be, any of you, did you ever feel insecure about your blackness?
No.
Growing up. Okay.
Actually, I got a story for you guys. It's a crazy story, right? I can't remember the whole thing, the whole event, only due to the fact that I was very young at the time. So my older brother...
And that's all the time we've got for today, guys. We'll see you next week. No, I'm sorry, carry on.
All right. So basically, they went through like a, how do I call it? A racist encounter with another white person, and it was crazy. But as a young person myself, I was sitting in the car at the time thinking, I've never seen my dad this angry before. Wow, this is a whole different side. Because when you're a young kid, 7, 8, 5, 6, whatever, you think, they're your parents, and you look up to them, your role models, your brothers, your sisters, But when I seen them go crazy for the first time, I'm thinking, wow, this is new. So then one time, so after that event, I think my mom kind of like educated us thoroughly about racism, and she made us watch Roots and all this stuff. But even with all that, I wasn't like angry. I wanted to go fight white people or anything. I wasn't like that because my nature was, I was brought up to be kind to anyone, boy, girl, anyone who you are, be kind. That's how I was brought up, and that's how I met in the black communities in Georgia. That they would treat you to be kind and have that mutual respect. Yeah. So crazy thing is now, after my mom like made us watch Roots and gave us so many books to read, one time I think this white teenager approached my brothers, and they were just being like verbally so racist, and I thought, wow, okay, in this situation, what do I do? Do I retaliate? Do I be the black statistic that always pulls out a gun or a knife and gets into a fight and get kicked out of a shop or whatever? But at the time, I thought, I'm going to educate myself on what I should do, what's the right thing to do. So I educated myself, and the third time this happened, I was in Walmart, and Ethan, my younger brother Ethan, is so bold. So this white kid comes out of nowhere to him. He's like, you're black, you're a nigger, innit? And he went, no, you can't touch me, you can't talk to me like that. You're Caucasian, you're white, you have leprosy, you're from the Caucasus Mountains. And I thought, wait a minute.
Oh, you went back there.
I thought, whoa, is this the way we was to defend it? Or this? And I thought, wait a minute. So even he had his whole say. My older brother was laughing at the time. For me, it was something new because I thought, wow, that's another way of retaliation. And then again, I said, okay, wait, let's just stop this. Should we really be doing this to one another? Yeah. And we all looked at each other and thought, no. Like his parents are getting involved, his family's getting involved, my family's getting involved. I said, is it really the right thing to do? Why can't we just go into Walmart and shop in peace, get our items and go home? Just like, no. What's the point of me being racist towards you and you being racist towards me because we're like different colors? The white mom saw me and heard these things. I thought, oh my God, he's so educated. And I thought, but what do you mean? That's common sense. Yeah, we're all educated. We all should know right from wrong. We shouldn't be going at your way to shout at people and call them racist words and think it should be okay. I'm thinking, no, blood, you can't do that. No, we shouldn't do this stuff. But at the end of the day, the parents came and apologized, and my mom was like, okay, look, it's okay, obviously. The whole thing that happened, let's just forget about it. Let's just go about our way. But that was the most craziest encounter for me as a young kid, seeing racism in like a form of a young child, and the family members looking at me like, wow, he's so educated. Oh my God, do you see him talk? It's like, no, this is normal. Like, we shouldn't be doing this, people. Like, I may just watch Roots 2 weeks ago, but I'm not going to fight you or anything like that. But I'm going to say to you, look, you can call me racist, and nowadays, well, I'm not saying you can snitch, but the police involved, you can retaliate, and nowadays with the Black Lives Movement, the protests. But even when I saw this quote the other day, it's not a Black Lives Movement or anything like that. That whole thing is like a lifestyle. So for me, being American, having that around me and seeing it, we've always been fighting for our lives one way or another, whether it's mentally and physically. So I always thought to myself, that's crazy.
Yeah, physically, where you were, just 40 years prior to that. The reason why you got such a wow reaction is because 40 years prior to that, that means people that still alive today that would be in their 70s. There was not just a black kid, but there were black kids that were zoo exhibits. They were made to be seen. They were in cages for the white people to come and examine this exotic creature. But they're almost like us, but they're stupider. Almost like us, but they're lazy. And it's like black people have always been called lazy since the times we stopped working for free. Yeah. That's it. In this case, it's like, because I want some money now, I'm lazy. It's like, what I won't pick your cotton field without look. No. I'm going too far. But anyway.
But that was one of my first encounters of racism. Now I thought to myself, I'll let you guys know that story. For me, it wasn't about get a brick or a weapon or fighting. It was not even an argument. It was just for me like, if I grew up kind, why can't you guys be kind to one another? We don't have to do this stuff. You choose to do this stuff. You choose to be racist. You have to be. So for me, growing up, you always had a choice of doing right or wrong. That's how I was taught.
Yeah. Well, for me, I'm not ashamed to admit that I used to be insecure about how black I was for actually for a while. But because I do this thing where I analyze like my behavior sometimes, and I'm like, like what motivates people to do stuff? Like even okay, remember when I said when I watched Roots, I was fucking mad. I was really angry, but not to the point like I hated white people. Not gonna lie, I
Yeah.
did. But then again, I thought about it. I was like, okay, so this happened how many times ago? And okay, so horrible shit's happened. I would
Yeah.
hate to be a slave. I'm glad I'm not. And then again, another F you to all of those motherfuckers, because those ones they can rot like fucking burn in hell. I don't care for any of them. I was just like, those people are dead. So in a way, it's like it's a victory because for every step I take, every breath I take, everything I do, being black
Oh, be
and
with
free,
you.
that like I feel like that will hurt them because like they've in their wildest imagination would have probably never thought slaves would ever be free. Black people will ever be free.
Yeah.
So then again also and I'm thinking, you know how you said like that like kids, black people were being put in zoos like less than probably 100 years ago. Now think about how many
Oh,
kids of white descendants were born in those like in that period of time and how many of them were taught wrongly, like lied to, like, oh hey, because your skin is pale, you therefore better than the person whose skin is
Yeah.
darker. And those people then like are living those lies and they believe it and stuff like that. So it's like I feel sorry for them because I'm like, you're ignorant, even though you
Yeah.
think you're correct. And like because you then just chose what your parents or your family or whatever society tells you, you believe in that. You never questioned it. I just feel like you're sheep because you just regurgitated and like what people used
Exactly.
to believe like 100 years ago, and we are saying as human beings, we try to evolve. So like, why can't you just not say, oh hey, where you were born is literally based on where your parents had sex and like birth you. That's literally what nationality is. Your color is dependent on like who sleeps with who, like what, like it's
yeah.
not a thing that should matter. The thing is, we're human beings. As sappy as it is to say that we're just human beings, we
Mm.
are. So like, I try to understand them, and then I feel sorry for them. Like, and then the other thing I had to do is like separate anger from separate being triggered by the N word because there was a time when somebody
Yeah.
called me N word.
Mm.
I felt like the right thing to do was smack their face in because
Yeah.
like
You
you
think
can't
fight?
say it.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then again, I'm like, okay, it's offensive. I understand why we don't like that word and everything, but I use it, and I'm not gonna encourage anybody to call me that. I would expect people to respect. I respect people, and I expect them to respect me enough not to use that word for me. But then again, if they do, I'll react to it, but I don't think I'll go smash their face in
No.
because I'm just like, you're just trying to get a reaction from me
Yeah.
to basically prove to yourself that you're right. Like thinking, oh, if I call him this word, he's gonna react this way, and therefore I am
Yeah.
right.
And
It's
if
just
they
like,
use that
no,
word,
I'm not gonna give
get
you
a
that
reaction. If
satisfaction.
it's a reaction, they have power over you.
Hmm.
Because,
Exactly, because when they get the reaction, like it validates them. So an example I give you, how I came up to do that was, so when I was a kid, I used to be called a name I hated, and everybody would call me that. Every time they did, I'd react to it negatively, and it would make them laugh, they'd enjoy it and everything. And one day I decided, when they call me that name I don't like, I'll just be like, yeah, boy, what's up, what's up? And somebody did, they're like, this, like, say they call me the N word, I'll say, yeah, dude, what's up?
Yeah.
How's
What's
it going?
new?
Didn't react to
Yeah.
it. And I could just see the life in their face just go like, wait, what? You're not offended by
Yeah.
this
I've been through
anymore. I
that
was like,
once. Yeah.
this works. I'm gonna do this forever. And
mm,
that's how I got over the N word. Like I don't care for the word. Like when somebody calls me, I'm just like, you're just stupid. That's what it is.
I was like, were you talking to
But
me?
yeah,
Oh, so I didn't realize because I'm not a nigga.
yeah, yeah. I have a name. I have a last
Yeah.
name. I'm a person.
Exactly.
And to touch on me being insecure about how black I was, the sad truth is, so there's still like echoes of the horror that the colonialism like caused in Africa. Because for like almost 300 years, we've been told you're black, therefore you are inferior.
Mm-hmm.
Sadly,
Some
it
people believe
seeped
it.
into the consciousness of the black people
Mm.
to the point that it's still like going on. Like okay, there's like the thing where like even some black women sadly believe that black men love women with lighter skin. Yeah. So as a result of that, they were told this as kids, and so this is like an insecurity they have, and then it gets to the point where like they will bleach and then we see it everywhere, advertisements, white people have this, you black people are poor because you're black, this and that. So all of those things like affect the person. And there was a time I was like, I wish I was white, because like I thought life would be way, way easier and all that stuff. And then it took one person to be like, hey, you're black, like you're enough, you're beautiful. And I was like, actually, yeah, you're right. So like it took somebody else as black as me to actually tell me, yo, I like your skin tone. I think your skin tone is really nice, this and that. And I was like, actually, shit, yeah. But like, if I say didn't like get that intervention, or I didn't like stop to think I am enough the way I am, like I don't know where I would be right now, like, or how that would affect me negatively. I probably would bleach my skin, maybe, I don't know, because that's what insecurity is, one of the like a biggest like drivers of emotions in people, and it leads them to like things that are detrimental to their health, you know. But yeah, so like women are bleaching, straightening their hair and all that stuff is sad, but it's like the truth, I guess.
Is it still raining?
See, that's why I'm lucky to grow up in such a black community like in Georgia and with Macon or Atlanta. We always taught to love each other, or love yourself first and foremost, and then love each other, respect each other. So for me, growing up black, I never felt insecure. I thought it was like empowerment. Like, okay, like you're black, you got like kings and queens, you got like Nefertiti, you got like the great gods. I thought to myself, raw, like. This is
I got all these awesome heroes. I
don't need to look at Superman or Batman. Listen, I got my own heroes, own my hair, my skin color. Listen, I thought to myself, this is amazing. So I thought I never had insecurity when growing up. But
yeah. Personally, it's the case that I'm not gonna say I haven't thought about it. I thought about it a couple of times.
Everyone's thought about it.
But in the sense of like, I looked in the mirror, I looked at me. And I pictured what I looked like white, and it was weird as hell. It was weird as hell. When I say like black, I mean like full dark skin. It still looked good. It was like I felt like less weird than I did look as white in my head, because I was like, not sit well with me, just because I've got the features of my ancestors, and so white me just would look like it just would not. It wouldn't. But then when I looked, I was like, no, because the skin color that I am is for my features, for my face, and I actually really enjoy it. I really enjoy it. Like, I'd like to celebrate myself and my skin. I feel like we all have different skins. I feel like the world would be a boring place if we all had the same skin. Even
it would be, I think, but that's the thing about evolution. There's always has to be diversity. Like that's like how we survive. Because then again, like say okay, so because I'm black, I'm perfectly evolved to like absorb natural. Everybody's like evolved to like absorb sunlight and all of that stuff, but like because we had extra features. That's what I'm trying. That's I'm getting that. We like I can like we can handle it better because we're more exposed to it and stuff like that. And this is basically it's an evolutionary trait that we have in our skin. And it's another thing is like it's your largest organ. And it's the stupidest thing for me to hear somebody say they're racist because of your skin color. Because I'm like, that's like saying, I don't know, your eyes pink, therefore you're inferior or you're superior. Like, it's the dumbest thing ever.
No, even take it one step further, because it is just another evolutionary trait. The farther away from the equator you move, the less melanin you need to produce. So it was a waste of energy. And so
exactly
the skin.
Yeah. So like this is nature's perfect recipe.
It's like saying, I don't like you because you've got hair on your head. Because essentially, your hair, that would be something that would it'd make more sense than your skin color. Because essentially, your hair grows in areas, that you're still doing, because we don't need hair as much unless you're in a cold region. With the help of clothes as well that have now treated. But basically, the hair that was on our body was made to protect us. It's still the hair that's still on our bodies is still to protect. It's to make sure that essentially, if say we take a strike in your armpit where your joints are, near your reproduction parts, on your chest, some cases if you've got a weak chest, but obviously I don't have that too much to say. But the back of your head, your eyebrows and eyelashes actually serve a different purpose. But back of your head and stuff like that, it's to cover your weaker parts, because if something was to come in and hit you with it, then the idea is that your hair would at least cushion it.
Or like protect you from like a bite as well. I mean, it will still penetrate, but because if there's like a dense amount of hair in there, it like sort of protects you. Like some animals still have their fur protect them from stuff like that. So I don't know, man. It's weird, but yeah. So growing up, after I got over the bit of being white and hating white people and all that stuff, it was just like, okay, we're all people, we all bleed the same, we eat, we share, we fart, we do.
Yeah.
We have so
That's
many
it.
things in common rather than.
That is the thing.
What did you say?
Did you guys shit?
We all do.
No, you.
I'm not saying we like shit. I'm
No.
not saying. I'm saying we all shit.
I didn't realize that was a
Like we
thing.
all take a shit.
Did. I choose not to. I'm better than you.
Yeah. Well,
I'm better than you because I do not shit.
you did not shit.
God.
Okay. Guess your implosion waiting to happen or explosion. But yeah, so like, it just got to a point where I'm like, yeah, dude. Like for me, race is like, I'm not gonna say it's not a thing because it is. Like that's one of the things you can't ignore it, but then again, you can't also just like make it front and center everywhere. Because like I have like some friends who they're black, and then one of them he legit is like, yo, I just hate white people for all the evil they did, everything. Like I don't care. You can't like change my mind in any way. And I try to like yeah make him see like my reason. Like okay, dude, yes. Those people, a-holes, everything they did, I do not agree with it 100%. They robbed us of our culture, they robbed our reaches and our people, like literally everything, took everything from us. Like they don't deserve shit. But then again, you can't then blame their ancestors, like great grandkids, who like just like normal people, and be like, okay, because somebody that you are related to, who you have nothing to do with, did something horrible, therefore I'll hold you accountable. It's like it's
You
weird
can't blame a
logic
child for
to
listening
have.
to their parents, but at the same time,
Exactly.
if
Yeah.
I think it's the case of that's where it's like when it comes to like South Africa, where they have
Yeah.
it was the acknowledgement. Actually, it's like you
Yeah.
can't blame the kids for the sins they've had. But if you're still benefiting from
Yeah.
it, or also
Mhm.
helping towards putting policies in place which is still disenfranchising the people of which you're
Yeah.
there was no racism for, then you're still going to be part of the problem. It's like you've got to have, there's got to be that acknowledgement. You haven't got to be, oh no, I'm so sorry, stuff like that. But you have to acknowledge that it is something that you know that
Yeah.
you are benefiting from, and if there is a way for you to help, then help. Like you know, like
That's
if you,
true.
like you don't have to. Oh well, I'm going to donate half my wages to supporting black kids. If you can do that, great.
Mm-hmm.
Like, that'd be amazing. But if you can't,
Yeah.
that's not it. Like what's it? It's the case of if you see someone that's been unjustly discriminated against because of their skin, simply because of these perpetuations, this propaganda that's been put in place for generations and drilled into our own heads. So you've got white superiority, but you've also got black inferiority. Both things perpetuate this like stereotype that we are different, but we're not the same.
Yeah.
Then just say, all you do is you step up and you say something. You say, what do you think you're doing? Like, explain.
Yeah.
No, you don't even have to attack anybody. The easiest way to disarm somebody is to get them to explain themselves. If I said something massively homophobic or massively, what's the sexist? That's it, like that. And someone asked me what my points are behind it. Well, see, if you can argue with me, there's more chance that I might, as stupid as it sounds, there's a sure chance I'll be able to come up with an argument. I can come up with an argument for anything, whether I agree with it or not. I can make a justification for it if you're trying to argue with me. Yeah. But if you ask me why and get me to explain myself, that's what I do when I hear someone say something that I'm like, well, why are you being homophobic? Why are you being sexist? Why are you being racist? It's harder when I say why are you being racist because they're being racist at me. But it's a case of if you ask somebody why to explain themselves, eventually you get stopped. If you go, oh, I can't come out tonight because I've got to do this, and I was like, they'll say something. I'll go, why? Well, I told someone that I would do this. Why? Like sometimes, even when it's something that is a legitimate reason, like say I'm doing my mum a favor, that's it. If you kept asking me why, I might I'll get to the point where I'm either frustrated and go, you know, go away, or I'll start being like, but either way, like when but you know, it gets to a point where it's a bit like you're just asking why for no reason. But when it's something that is unfounded and it's just an opinion that they have or something that they've said to either cause a wedge in the situation or or for just because it's something they believe. Get them to explain their reasons for it, especially if it's wrong. Because when you ask something why, it's hard to keep up if there's nothing to support it.
Yeah, I think the for me the greatest scam is you know the saying tell a lie long enough and it becomes truth. I think that has worked very well in this situation when it comes to slavery, racism, and all that stuff. Because one thing people like, I think, don't either notice or think about a lot is because, okay, so there's one end where Africans, black people, were like told you're inferior for like hundreds of years. Yeah, at some point that seeps in. But on the other end as well, they were also lying to the white people saying, you see those people? You are better than them. So it's like both people on both sides, both groups of people have been lied to for hundreds of years, and those things like start to seep. But it's just like because people don't question anything, and they are afraid to say like change the status quo. Because they say a typical white person would be like, "I'm not racist. I have no like bad intentions against black people." But then again, I don't want to help because I don't want to lose my status or something. I'm not saying that's in general, but I'm just saying, for example, that could be someone's thought, rather than say, hey, what if I've been lied to? Because like talk to any rational person and go, hey, are you better than me? They'd probably say no, we're people. Although like somebody can then say, oh, I'm better than you because of some, I don't know, value thing that we've said used to measure society, like wealth and stuff like that. But yeah, I think we have to undo the lie that has been told to us on both ends for hundreds and hundreds of years. Because like some people at some level you believe that is true, and then we behave based on those truths. And I think it's one of the biggest things. Because like, how can it imagine the confidence of somebody like, let's say somebody from the KKK thinking, I am white, therefore I'm better than you. Like the conviction to like, but to believe that like absolute lie, like the confidence you have, like to believe that and say, yes, I'm fucking willing to do all of these crazy shit to prove that this lie is true. You know, like imagine the conviction they have to have. Like they've been lied to all their lives. Like honestly, I don't know. It's sad. It's really sad.
Yeah, I mean, like I think like this is probably going to be a really bad example. Yeah, of something you said earlier, but at the same time, it's all I can think of that relates to white people because it's a predominantly, if not 100%, a white thing. Yeah. It's like going over to America. In school. So going to their school shootings even. It's probably when you go into that, it's probably like it's probably one kid. So let's say it's the one kid. The one kid's getting bullied by probably 50 people. So these people are bullies. These people, the people around in the classroom might laugh along, but they're not doing anything. They're just there. So they can stand there and say, well, I'm not bullying him. Well, I'm not bullying him. I'm not bullying him. They can see he's being bullied. But they're like, oh, I'm not bullying him. I'm just there laughing. It's only those two kids over there that are bullying him. But eventually that kid will go home. Or not necessarily eventually will, but I'm talking about in the sense where it does turn into a school shooting. But that kid goes home. He gets his parents' weapons and stuff like that. He then goes to the school. He doesn't just shoot those two kids that were bullying him. He shoots all the other classmates that were laughing and that were just there. Because in his eyes, they saw him suffering,
but they didn't.
And they didn't do anything to help.
They were complacent.
As the bullies, because they might not have bullied him themselves, but they allowed him to feel this way, feel unsafe. He should otherwise do so.
Yeah, I think it's the most horrific feeling where you are in trouble and you know somebody can save you and you can look at them to be like, hey, help, or like I'm in a situation where you can actually help, and they look at you and don't do anything. Like that creates resentment. Yeah, because you're thinking you're not gonna think about who's like the person inflicting the pain, and you're thinking, dude, like you can literally help me, and you're just being complacent.
Choose not to.
You know? Yeah. It's almost as worse as actually inflicting the pain in the initial phase.
Because you're allowing the behaviour to happen. It's like when it comes to like George Floyd, I'm supposed to use his name because he's the biggest one name lately, other than don't forget. But it was only one. It was only actually one off. So although he was hurting all over his body, it was only one that was blocking his air. And one thing, but rightly so. They should all be. I think they should all be convicted of, not just charged, but convicted.
Yeah.
Because but it's the case that only he had his knee in the neck, but they all had the power to stop it, and they didn't.
That's true.
So they killed as much as he killed them. They killed him. They allowed the behavior to happen. A bystander that allows behavior to happen is just as bad, if not worse, than the person committing the act. Because the person committing the act is most usually a coward. So if they have any piece of challenge towards it, is they'll commit that act if they feel that they are allowed to do so. If someone says, "I don't know why you think they're doing that," they're not going to fight you. Like, oh no, sorry, I didn't mean it like that. Like, go on. Like, one of the officers would have said to him, "Get off his neck." He got off his neck because he realised that he's not in a situation where he's all powerful. But people that are the same rank as him would then also say that are also saying that no, we're not going to let you get away with that behaviour, and therefore he wouldn't let it commit. But because they're holding him down as well, he's like, oh, I've got all the power here. No one here is challenging me that can challenge me.
Yeah.
And that's
I know one thing in that story though. When they're like when the cops were like a rookie or like this just like what do you call it? Just starting a job or something like that. What did he say about it? Didn't he say something like if I'd done something, then I would have been like this in my police department? Or I think it's crazy to think that one man had all the right or the power in his head to think, okay, just put one knee on the guy's neck and get away with it. And all my superiors, all my
and be like super chill about it as well. Like that's what just hurts me, man.
That's what. Even if I was a policeman and I'm duty with him, I would have been like, yo, bro, what are you doing? You can't do that. Black, white, or whatever, Hispanic, Asian.
That's a person. Yeah, that's a whole human being in there.
But I don't know if you would. As a cop, you know you're not trying to do certain things. What the hell are you doing?
Yeah. No. See, the thing is, that's you're thinking of it if you was there as you. Yeah. The thing is, it's the same thing that it's the same issue that I have with political parties, in the sense that when you're in a party, or when you're in the way the police force is currently set up, it's about helping. It's not about doing the right thing as such as it's about making sure that you and your team, because that's what it's a team. I guess we'd say eating right, but they maintain their power. You know, they maintain the situation they're in. The police are the only reason why the police have as much power as they do, in the sense that they can kill as many people as they do, they can hold as many people as they do, and they can even get information illegally as many times as they do. Because if they do something illegal, at worst they'll get fired and then hired in another state, police department. And then at best, that's at best. I just realized I mixed those words. So at best, they'll get fired, and then they'll just get hired in other things. At worst, they get a few weeks paid suspension, if it gets at all. It's like it's a gang mentality also, almost. When you're trained into the police, you're not trained in the sense of I'm there as a protector. I've heard of it. We both have friends that are police officers, and you know what? I love this. These people, I know they hold no ill will against me. I hold no ill will against them, and actually I'm proud of them for being police. I know they're doing it for the right reasons. But when they tell me what their training was like, what I've heard of is when I've seen training, like this is England as well. This is England. I've seen American training facilities, but I'm talking about the English ones. It's almost militant. Yeah, it's almost military.
It is militant.
It lies in the situation of us versus them. Yeah. Not us versus them. It might be you versus. You might deal with criminals, but a lot of things have to be dealt with cop and criminal. Certain things are bystander. Certain things are cop and civilian that might be in trouble, or civilian that maybe has made a mistake or something like that. Nothing. There's a lot of situations that can be dealt with just by talking. Very rare. And yes, the job is dangerous, and it can be.
But at
the same time,
very dangerous.
At the same time, it's not a job that you're forced into. You know what the risks are before you go into, and you have the choice to do it. If you don't feel you can do that, then you should take it. That's as simple as that. You can't. But like, if you do feel you can handle it, then you go with that understanding that even though it is a dangerous job, you know, well, not even it can be a dangerous job, because it's not a dangerous job. It can be a dangerous job in certain situations. The job itself is not dangerous, but certain individuals you may deal with can be. It's the same argument. Is that they'll make the same argument that they'll make against us as well. It's the same thing. It's like they'll go, But am I supposed to wait till it's too late to find out if the situation is dangerous? Yeah, it's like, are we supposed to wait until it's too late to find out if we're dealing with a good cop or not? But apparently, no, there's more good cops than there are bad cops. Yeah, well, there's more good people than there are bad.
Yeah, but exactly. Or you can't assume everybody's bad, and then you can't also like flex your power every single time. Like,
yeah, that's what the guy was doing.
That's the same thing. That's some bullshit topic, but that's not parties, because political parties, they tend to. It tends to, if everyone represented themselves as an individual representing their place, it'd be the case that if someone wasn't doing their job right, people wouldn't join in on it, or if people wouldn't do it much, they would then, on the other hand, it'd be almost cutthroat. It'd be like, oh, well, he's fucked up, so I'm going to go over there and I'm going to take his job. So I'll make sure that he gets everything he deserves.
Yeah.
And I'll help him. But when it's a party situation, it's the case that I may not agree with what that guy says, but we need some party solidarity right now.
Yeah.
Makes sense. It might be a little bit extra. You might have to make more votes than you'd like to. Or you probably wouldn't, because you'd be voting for just your own community, and communities put your best interest in at heart when they go across there. But it's it's not. But the whole party system, the same with the police system, it's us versus them. So even if it detriments their own people, like conservatives, they are primarily for the rich in terms of their party situation, in terms of what you see their policies are like. At the same time, even then, they're still going against the best interests of the country as a whole and also their own constituents.
Yeah, but the funny thing I actually find in terms of our leaders is like, okay, apart from like, I'm not even going to talk about the politics of them getting into power and stuff like that, but just the statistics of like the people who are representing us, the general people, and they have no idea what the average person experiences and stuff. It's staggering, because it's like 60% of all the power in England held, like all of this office, 60% of them literally like make up of 7%. They're okay. The statistics goes like this: there are 7% of British people who went to private school, and of those 7%, they hold 60% of the offices in the government. Like, how in the fuck are you gonna know the plight of the normal person if you've not experienced anything? And then the thing like the thing like kind of like trickles down, because it's like, okay, so I've gone to private school. I'm talking about the us and them mentality, because I have friends that's gone to private school or like this, or have this amount of money or whatever. So therefore, I'm gonna only deal with them and do things that are only going to help us and line our pockets, rather than think about it. It's like it's an unending, it's a never-ending cycle. It's like really crazy. So that's why like they can make up a stupid policy. Like in terms of the police thing, that they have immunity, most of them in some cases, where they can literally do something illegal and nothing happens to them. Like that's just what, like literally just knowing that would be like, oh, that separates me from the normal person, because I can fuck them up and I'll be
across countries as well.
Yeah.
Like you get diplomats. Like there was an American diplomat. Yeah. That had come down here in Northampton. Yeah.
Yeah.
He'd run over somebody, killed them.
Yeah.
And then fucked off back to America.
Yep.
And so people are asking her to come back here and face prosecution to like hold his court, but she doesn't actually have to. She's not an obligation, because as a foreign diplomat, she's immune to any
immunity. But hey, nobody's above the law.
Apart from, no one's above the law.
The law is so flawed, though. It's like so many flaws in it. So nowadays,
but that's the thing.
You could be above the law
as well.
Law. People just take their own power and do what they want to do nowadays.
But like the average person doesn't even know like their whole rights, or like what are the laws of the country or something. So it's like, I don't know, how do we solve this? How do we tackle this? Because there's so much shit intertwined, linked together. Like it's just a big vine. It's just mess, man. It's mad.
But like a big ball of twine that's all knotted up. The way to start it is to start. You just start. So you sit down, you make sure you make time for it, and don't think about rushing it or anything like that. You think about it and you undo one at a time until you get your perfect piece of string to do whatever it needs to be done with. But it's like, it's too big a conversation to have, like even on just an hour-long podcast, something that's going to take a lot of time. It might take years, it might take months, it might take years, it might take decades, it might traverse across generations, but as long as it starts, because that's what it has. Once you start and you stick to it, eventually it'll start to unravel, and the more you do it, the easier it will become.
Okay. So we've trailed like way past like how
Growing
we
up
started
black.
the podcast. So yeah. So
Yeah.
let's bring it back. Let's bring it back to say something we all had in common. Being naughty and getting punished. Who wants to go first? Growing up, like how was it like when you were naughty and your parents were like, yeah, you're gonna get a beating or something? Because I am pretty sure I think this is a stereotype I can back 100%. Like most black people were whooped growing up.
You ever been beat with a
And
Yeah.
football?
is that a good thing or is that a bad thing?
Football table. Oh, yeah. No, I remember one time, one of my favorites, yeah,
Mm,
is I was misbehaving, and you
yeah.
know, it was
Oh, okay.
parents
Time to
I was
wrap
being a
this
little shit.
up. So this is Inside Thoughts. Thank you for joining us today.
See, one of my favorite stories from because I think I used to hate getting beat, but I used to love watching
Yeah.
people get beat. I was like,
Yeah.
only because I knew that they'd straight up wrap me out of anything that was if it was something that I was deserving of, they'd wrap me out.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
I even took blame for them a lot of the times because that's what you have to do as the eldest.
The eldest, yeah.
Take responsibility
Yeah.
for your
Hmm.
siblings. And I did do that a lot whenever I could. The only time I didn't do that was when I was literally like, well, I wasn't even in Wellingborough at the time, but yeah, it was my fault. I should have been.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, my favorite one of them is I was being an absolute shit nightmare for my mum. I can't remember what I was doing.
Yeah.
Or maybe I can. I just don't want to share it because.
Okay. You were in the wrong, yeah?
Yeah, I was in the wrong. I was really.
Okay.
And so
Cool, that's fine.
Mum said, "Look,
Yeah.
I'm gonna call your uncle if you don't, fix up."
Yeah.
So I did try to fix up. I did. I did.
Yeah.
I made an honest commitment a bit, but
Mm.
then I've forgotten that she'd said, "If I don't fix up, she's gonna call my uncle." So she called my uncle, and he came down, and I was playing football out the front of our house, like
Lord, nobody's business.
like a goalpost painted on it. So we played out, and I was goalkeeper, and I was there. I was enjoying life. It was a nice hot summer day, like 30 degrees outside.
You remember the weather.
The day before. This is what the kind of levels we're dealing with, yeah. And I was like, on the time of my life, this was great. This is cool. Uncle Pete rolls up, and I'm like, oh, maybe if I just say hey to him, like really friendly, he won't realize that he came here for you discipline me. Yeah, and he'll be like, no. It's like I was like, hey, Uncle Pete. He's like, hey. So he went in, and I went. I was just there. I was carrying on playing and everything.
Back to black football.
Anyway, about 20-30 minutes later, I get called in.
Jeez.
Like, I really don't want to go inside. And it's like, I'm trying to keep it as long as possible, but I was literally less than 10-15 feet from my house.
Yeah.
So I was there, so I was just strolling slowly, and I knew what happened. I thought, I was trying to think of how to navigate my responses.
Yeah, this
Yeah. And so I was like, yeah, did not work. And so obviously he told me, take off my shoes. Like he said,
can't go outside no more.
Yeah. There was these high grip ones. They were like those mini rubber studs that you used to get for football to make.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Oh my God, I remember those.
I was like, as I took off my shoe and I gave it to him, and then he beat me with my shoe. Yeah.
Laid it in
my shoe, and then he told me to put my shoes back on. So I put it back on. I sent me back outside to play football. It's hilarious now, but back then I was like,
I mean, you would have, of course, hated it, yeah.
Got to the front like people can't see me. I used to have that because I remember I was raised like I remember it wasn't so. It was like I remember there were certain things like my dad was raised under toxic masculinity, and then he raised me.
Yeah.
There's certain things that men can't do. He used to tell me. Now. I mean, we're open. We're like it took a lot of work because what had happened, I took a part-time job like volunteering, at one of the community centre, WACA. That's the Afro-Caribbean Centre for those who don't know. And basically, one of the people there, her name was Laura. She said, no, like what's it? What you got to do? I know you said you don't have that kind of relationship with your dad. You've got to force that. You got to be that. Like,
you have to nurture it, yeah.
You've got to keep putting that there, and eventually he'll open his things because there's nothing wrong with telling your dad you love him or hug him. And I was 20 before I realized that. It's been like before, like, it's like what's it? I didn't really hug my dad until I was 20. Now I hug him whenever I see him.
Bang.
The light skin stories are coming out, boy.
He's feeling more black than we are right now.
No, he's going with the light skin stories. They can feel emotional and still look good on camera, man.
Yeah.
Hey?
I say you going in with the light skin stories. Now I'm not talking about how he's died and everything. This is some real emotional stuff. Watch. One girl's gonna pop out of your bed and go, "Oh my God, Malachi!" Oh my God.
Yeah, yeah. And I got some back outside to play.
Yeah.
That was the end of it.
Nice. Come on, what kind of ass whooping did she get then?
You know, I want to tell you a different side of it, because you know what? First time I got beat, I was like, this shit is real. Like, you get sent to your bedroom, no dinner, no PlayStation. And back then we had PlayStation 2. You can't play the new game. You can't do nothing. It's like, raw, what just read books?
See, so you know what? Before you continue, that's exactly why I got beat. Because first and foremost, my mum would never go without food. She'd never do it. She just wouldn't do that.
Yeah.
There were times where she had to go without. You know, that's why.
Yeah.
She always put us first as a mother. She always made sure, even if there wasn't enough for her, we ate. And then she did something when she was out, when she could get a little something. Like that's like she always put us first. But she could never send me to my room, because that's where the PlayStation,
that's where everything is.
Books, Game Boy was. God. So she'd never send me to my room because she knew it wasn't a punishment. Because sometimes her punishment was to send me out of my room and outside. She's like, no, you've been inside for too long. Get the fuck out.
That works.
That would never work.
Jesus.
Yeah, no, continue. Sorry for interrupting.
That's raw. The light skin treatment there, man. No. Well, now going back to it, now for me, I had to realize something. I had a story to my brothers and sisters, how they used to get their ass whooping. I seen my younger brother get his ass whooping. I thought to myself, why the hell do y'all continue to do bad shit for? Like, y'all gonna get an ass whooping one way or another. So I thought, I gotta be smart here in this bitch. I thought, no, I'm not taking no more beatings now. I'm gonna be smart. So 2-2s now, I thought, okay, let's think about this. If I'm gonna commit this naughty crime my mum's so-called is going crazy at me at, don't do it. But who's behind you? You got the older brother in front of you, you got the younger brother with you. One of them's gonna do it. And I think to myself, all right, cool, yeah. My mum always said to me, if Tom, Dick, and Harry jump off a cliff, you gonna jump off a cliff too? No. Yeah. So when they didn't notice stuff,
they did their homework and there's water at the bottom of that cliff. And I know that I can dive. So yes, I will.
When they didn't notice stuff, I'm thinking, I'm gonna see you guys on the other side. Because I've been around where you can't get no dinner, that nice brown stew chicken and rice and peas. You can't. I didn't get that last time, so I remember this. So when they didn't notice stuff, I blame for it. My younger brother got real beaten, and I'm looking at him like, you know, this rice and peas tastes real good. I'm so sorry you're missing out today. Like, this is some brown stew chicken right here with a chicken. Oh my God!
I'll tell you something. This is exactly why they eat your food when you go out.
Revenge.
Wait, we're going off topic here. Wait, that's a different
Carry on,
All I know is every time there was something bad going on, I thought to myself, I ain't a part of it. And secondly, I ain't getting on my ass whooping. So I had to be good. And if I did something naughty, I'll talk my way out of it. Like, Mom, I didn't know I could do stuff like this. I didn't know that I was not supposed to do this. You didn't tell me or inform me about this. So it's not my fault.
You pre-warned me.
So I had to really...
Don't tell me no first, Mama.
I mean, you're technically right.
So I had to really use my tactics here. I thought, I seen people get beat with a hanger, the slipper, the belt, spoons. I thought, I ain't going for that no more. Hell no. Hell no. But going back to what Malachi just mentioned about going out of food, hell no to that as well. Trying to eat my food and I'm not there. Oh, you know what? Yeah, you didn't jump off the cliff.
Yeah, come on, you right. This rice and peas and brown.
It's really nice.
Hell no. Oh my days, that still happens to this day. Like, I'll tell you one, guys. I came from the gym one time a couple of years ago, and I come from the gym, and I just get a call from my mum saying, "Oh, we're going to the Chinese buffet, or we'll see when we get back."
Yeah.
I'm like, wait, hold up. What did I do? What did I do wrong for me not to get invited to Chinese?
You going gym?
You was at the gym. Y'all didn't make no plans. It's a whole weekend. Y'all didn't make no plans for me to go Chinese. Y'all didn't inform me what time and date. You just decided to go. No, what?
Yeah, you would have gone to the gym.
Oh,
you should have cancelled, mate. I would have.
I was actually coming out the gym and I found this information. I was like,
Are they still at the Chinese buffet?
They were actually on their way, almost there, like in Western.
Dude, there's a chance your family doesn't like you.
All right, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna get a taxi over there. You give me the money for the taxi.
That's another thing. After that incident, every time they saw us leaving, I said, Dad, look, this is not fair. So I think what we should do is every time I don't get invited, I should get the money, my money off the food. So you know how much that costs? Is that $12.99? Okay, put taxi, put bus fare on that. It's round to 20. I'll use that and get my own food. Don't worry. I had to be smart about it. I'm not taking no ass whoopers and getting left out with no food. No.
Wait, so you avoided ass whoopings like most of the time then?
Hell yeah! I used to get beat. I didn't like it. So why am I gonna get more?
You know what? It never crossed my mind. That never crossed my mind as a kid. I was just like,
really?
In my head, it was just if I don't get caught.
Yeah. Nah, dude. For me, I literally I sat my mom down. I think I was 13, and I was like, "Mom, I can't take these beatings anymore." And she's like, "Are you not gonna be naughty anymore?" And I was like, "Yeah, I'll be a good boy if you don't be you not be me anymore. I'll be a good boy." And literally, that's how it stopped. Like I negotiated mine, but before my mom actually, she's fair. So what she would do is she would give me 3 chances. So she'd be like, "If you're naughty, don't be naughty, obviously, but when I do something, she would tell me not to do it." I do it again. Yeah, she warns me. She gives me 3 chances, and I break them all the time. I don't know how.
God.
It was just like, as a kid, you tell me not to do something. I start. I'm like, I don't want to do it, but I know literally in a couple of days I'm gonna do that exact thing, and I'll catch myself doing it, and at that time it's too late. So she had a special stick that she used to hide in her wardrobe.
Oh my God.
Yeah, dude, I hated that stick because every time I was naughty, she will wait till nighttime. Everybody's sleeping. I don't know what's wrong with that woman's room, but I think it was time. Nobody hears me, man. I was screaming to the top of my lungs, man. Like there's nothing. I can't escape. It's insane. Yeah, I think she put something in our room so people can't hear me. That's what she would do, and I think there was one time I hated being beaten so much. I tried to run away.
Oh,
I tried to run away.
I'm taking I got my favorite teddy bear. I got all I need. I'm going.
You know, I remember I never tried to run away, but do you know why?
Why?
Because there's no electricity outside, and I was like, I thought it through. I thought about it, and I thought, but I don't have to cook, and I can't play my Game Boy anymore because
dude, let me tell you how far I ran away went. Literally, I didn't even leave. It's a compound. I didn't leave the house. I didn't. I literally just went in a corner somewhere, and I spent all night there because I didn't want to get whooped. But I wasn't even brave. I didn't know where to go. So it was like a runaway, but it was more like I don't want to be in the house. I'm hoping me not being here, she would forget. And then it turned into a panic because she was looking for me all night. And then after when I came back a couple of months, she didn't do anything. And then we went back to her. But yeah, I would get 3 warnings. And then if I break them all, I get whooping. So mine was it was diplomatic. It was this is why you're getting it, and this is the reason why you're getting it. So I understood it, but I still hated it. So I was like, you know what, I'm gonna be good. Just I'm not gonna be you anymore, and that was it. So yeah.
See, that's my beating. I think I had a little bit of that fear as well when I was growing up. I think when I turned 13, I just got taller and bigger and stronger. So I thought, all right, I'm not gonna tell my mom I don't want no more licks.
Yeah.
I'm gonna try to get my guard up. Now I watch Dragon Ball Z. I watch all these martial art moves. I know Jet Li and Jackie Chan. I would try to grab the belt like they did. I can block bullets and key blast. I can do this. What did I try to do? I grabbed the belt.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh,
victory.
Dude.
I got worried
biggest mistake of your life.
Yeah. I walked up my hand and beat me with it. I thought, okay, it's not supposed to happen. That's what the Jet Li music is about, how to evade the dodges. I think when I got to learn how to dodge each of was attacks, I was like, it's like the Matrix. You can't touch this. Okay. And when you're tired,
grab the belt once.
Yeah.
She swung for me.
She's like, you're challenging me.
Coming for me. And as soon as I'd done that, I'd realised what had happened.
Super Saiyan mode.
I ran.
That's the same thing I did. I ran out the house.
Yeah. Dude, nah, you never, ever try to like block beats or something, because that did.
Oh, you're
challenging me now? Yeah, you're a big boy now. I'll fuck you up. And then you regret your decision. You're like, no, sorry.
Sorry. Well, like, how do you do it? See, for me, I used to have the belt and try to get my shoot, try to get ready to go out the door. So I said to Ethan, open the door. So I used to like land my getaway. Like, I got the belt. You can't hit me right now till I let go.
Yeah. Nah.
Well, like, how did you do it?
I grabbed. I was like, she went, and I went, and I looked, and she looked, and I was like, I dropped it, and then I just sort of. I grabbed it. I grabbed it. She looked. I looked. I let go. I turned around and I just pegged it up the stairs. Jeez. I was like, I don't know what the fuck. Who the fuck I thought I was, but that was not the day. That was not the day. Get through the door. Close it.
Oh my god.
Dude, I had no escape, man. I like literally, it was like she just reached our final boss mode when I did. I held it and she was like, oh, you challenging me now? You're big man. And I got extra whooping. I was like, yeah, I'm never gonna try that again.
Do you think it's to put out there though is that I don't know, I'm assuming it's the same for you guys. I mean, Kamal, sometimes I've heard some of yours and I'm like, ooh, I don't know if I'd have beaten you for it, but like, like you're a level of strict above me, like that's what I'm saying. Like, it was the case of like these were all in my opinion, like I don't know if I could do it myself because I feel like my mum got it worse than I did. And then her mum probably got it worse. Well, her dad probably got it worse than she got it, and it's like but like at the same time, I know that first and foremost, like everyone said, I don't feel no way about it now. I think I can listen and laugh.
No, I would do away with it.
Personally, that it was justified, but at the same time, I
Yeah.
also know, like, it's like Eddie Griffin said, he was like pain makes you remember. It's like someone's like, your friends go, let's rob this bank, and you go, no, I don't think I will. I don't think I will.
Yeah.
So, poof.
But you've seen videos where like, literally people get arrested and they're more scared of their mom actually knowing rather than actually getting arrested.
No, whenever I got in trouble at school, I'd be like, just please don't, just don't tell me, oh my God. I think because it's the wording they use as well. Because like nothing more I hear about when she's mad. I'm like, oh, sorry, mum. But like even now, sometimes I'm like, oh, stop nagging. But when she's disappointed, and she says things that I can tell just means that she's genuinely disappointed. It hurts my heart, and I'm like,
it does,
Don't tell me you're disappointed in me. Like, how dare you tell me that you're disappointed in me because now I'm gonna cry.
But that's the thing. That's the tactic. Because I think the beating, like, the psychology of it, how I thought about it was like, okay, so it's like, okay, so they know they're adults, so like they've experienced like saving the racism or something they've experienced is way different from ours. So for them, we have to be like, how would I say? They're trying to kind of protect us, so we're not. We kind of sheltered. So in a way, the things we think we can get away with, that could probably land us in way bigger trouble than
I mean,
warranted. So for that reason,
that I grew up with, the ones that didn't get beat, like, I'm not saying this is the same for everybody, but the ones that they tend to go in and out of jail more frequently than did get beat, who just don't go jail.
Here's what made me think about that. Like that made me realize it. There was a story I heard. It was actually in America in like the early 70s. So basically, so this kid, this was during segregation. This kid saw a fountain, and it was the time where they were like whites only or this and that. And he was so excited. He's a black boy. He was so excited. He went and started playing in fountain, and then a police officer showed up. So when the police officer showed up, and instead of the police officer beating the boy to teach him a lesson, the mom decided to, and she literally went in on the boy, beat him and all that stuff. And then the kid So I was thinking that's horrible. And then the kid was like, Mom, but you've never done this to me. Why? Like that was horrible. And then mom crying, she was like, yeah, I would rather give you a beating than let that guy lay his hands on my child.
Yeah.
And dude, like I heard that and it
That
broke my heart.
probably killed that kid.
It like that's what I'm saying. It broke my heart, and I was just like, look at this innocent kid. He just wanted to play in the fountain, and because the rules were so strict, he didn't know like there was segregations. Like, oh hey, white people can be here, black people can be like so. Like that's the mom had no choice. So I'm thinking that all of those like things are ingrained in our parents, and then like it's hard to kind of like mold your child because it's like okay, right now I'm saying I'm kind of spoiled because I'm like. I can do whatever I want. Like literally, my skin doesn't mean I can't like go here or go there because that would be racist or stupid. But there was a time in their times they probably didn't have those freedoms and they can't express themselves in that way. It was how it was, and they had to accept it. So then they had to mold their kids to follow those rules.
I think
so. Some of the tactics we still used are still say outdated, but it's rooted in something.
Yeah. I think it's also it's the case that like I think like maybe 400 to 500 years ago, it probably wasn't a thing that like it was. It probably happened, but not like it wasn't like it'd be like a rarity between the cases. Like it's just it's a case of I think it's rooted within slavery itself in terms of that because it tends to be more cultured. It tends to be more multi-ethnic people that do tend to.
Beat their kids.
The sense of, as you said with that story, where it's like I'd rather I beat you, because they will kill you, whereas
they will go for you,
put your life in danger. So it's amazing as the world's slowly getting better. Like, I'm not gonna lie, we're still a long way from where we need to be.
Yeah, we are,
but we're also a long way from where we were.
Yeah,
it's a lot better. Otherwise, we couldn't be having this conversation today. But at the same time, that doesn't mean that it's perfect.
No, not really.
Yeah.
Like an example in life recently, this happened to me actually. I think about 6 months ago. So I had my hair braided, and I've never done this. I just wanted to experience. Like I was like, this is cool. I want to do it. I did. Got back home. My mum saw it, and I could just literally see the fear in my face. And I was like, what's wrong? And she's like people are gonna like stereotype you, like you can't get a job and all of these things. And I was like, Mom, it's not that deep. It's just hair. And I was so angry. I was so mad because it was just like even if a person can literally be like, I am not gonna give you a job because of your hair. Like how dumb are they? I wouldn't actually want to work for them. And I was like so heated and thinking that's so illogical. But then again, after I calmed down, I was like, I think I see the fear she has like on why like it's like people want black people to look a certain way, talk a certain way, dress a certain way.
Like you can be black, like, but you can't show your blackness. Like
exactly. So if she's grown up in an era where like her expressing her blackness was muted in every single way, there's still going to be residues of that behavior that she's going to impose on her kids.
It's still frowned upon. You can be black, but you can't be black. You know,
exactly.
They like you to be black in color only, because therefore they can put you on their boards. But then it's the case that it's making people feel comfortable. You know, it's like not whether it's asked for or whether it's not. It's the thing that not just myself. I know you've experienced it. I feel like you might have done as well, Kamal. But it's the case that in certain situations, to get certain jobs, and whilst you're in those jobs, you even though you might talk a certain way and act a certain way, usually does not necessarily means that you're better or worse than you were whilst you're not at work. But when you're at work, you have like your white voice. Or your white mentality. It's like in the sense where
no, it's called the professional voice.
So you don't
professional voice
or anything like that.
You
protrude what you feel like, because it could you know what, if in some circumstances it might very well be self portraying, like we might just be putting that there, but at the same time it wasn't. And so it's still the claim today. And I feel like in certain situations, it is still that way. I've seen it where it's not just in our heads. I've also seen it where I know where certain situations where I might have just been me. Yeah, like where I work now, it's a great place to work. But in certain situations, I can see where I can't be me. You know, I can be me, my lucky self, but certain aspects of me would not be welcome. In other jobs I've had where I felt the same way, but might have just been me looking back because I was younger. But it's always make them feel comfortable about me being me. I'm not a big. Also, I might be big, tall, and black, but I'm not aggressive. I'm not a big, tall, and black, but I'm not. Maybe big, tall, and black, but I'm not a threat, essentially. And it's
but isn't it crazy that word is actually associated with us, like as in, oh, you black, therefore you angry or aggressive and all that shit. And that's what I'm saying. The level of stupidity in that statement is so huge, because I'm thinking it's a human thing. We all express those things, like we have it in us. Like, so why can you then just say, oh, because these is bad and negative? I would just give it to this race. That's so dumb.
It's like most things that get statisticalized by race, where they don't actually look at it as what it should be. Like when you look at what's her name? Is it Cara Owens?
I don't know who that is.
I know a black lady who is a conservative Republican.
Oh, I heard about this. Yeah, I forgot her name as well.
Everything she says, like in some circumstances, because she's a smart lady. I said when I first watched the first video that someone sent across to me, like they literally just sent across to me, see what my thoughts were on it. When I first listened to her, I realized that a lot of stuff I do get defensive about automatically.
Yeah.
Or I feel like I am. And then so I thought, no. Okay, let me actually listen to what she's saying. And at first, it seemed like what she was saying was really smart. And she is really smart, don't get me wrong. But in the other sense, then the more I listened to her, like I dropped my defensive attitude completely. You know, I decided, no, I'm just gonna listen to it as what she's saying. And what she says of self-hate. Like, so you're bringing smart people, you're bringing other smart people of color as well. She'll say things like, see, I'm not going to sound like a smart person of color because I don't know the name. I can't remember it. But there's one guy who said something about black people and young people to do this. You got Marcus Garvey. This is something separate. Who says black people and young people to spend outside of their race. And it's like, personally, I think black people are the only people to worry about what black people are doing. You know, it's like you don't hear white people going, white people are the only people to do this. You don't hear Asian people do this. But tell black people that we're the only ones that are doing this, and it's like no, be black people. And it's the case. But like what I'm saying is what was I saying?
Lady Owens.
That's my point.
Owens.
Yeah, back to her. But what was I saying about her?
About oh no, moving next topic.
No, she's smart. She was smart, and she was talking about black people like are the only people who spend.
No, before that, before I mentioned,
I can't remember the actual point. Yeah.
Sorry, dude.
You lost me with a last point. So I can't lie to you. You could last me with a lot of points.
Carry on.
I think another thing is what like the other thing is like, because people also like they tend to forget, as long as say we're talking about our rights and all of this stuff, they then want to like say, oh, you have to be absolutely perfect, and to me that's impossible. Like every race, humanity, we're good, we have bad, we have shitty ones, we have dickheads, we have all of these things all lumped in together. But then that doesn't mean because somebody's a dickhead, they don't have human rights. Okay, good. That's good, Alice.
What I was saying,
you back to what
statistics. Sorry, it's the statistics themselves. So what she wrote is that so you want to say
is it going to be like
more shot disproportionate? She tried to disprove the disproportionately shot thing by saying it wasn't racist, by saying, well, if we look at this 2015 study by the
black people commit more crimes or something,
people were responsible for 52% of all violent crime. You know, 2%. They're only 13% of the American population in 2015, but they're 2% of violent crime. So therefore, black people are more violent. That was our conclusion. And it's I'm not going to give statistics that you're going to tell you the situation, go research it for yourself. But basically, that's wrong. Even though it's correct, it's wrong. It's more
because there's so many freaking factors that affect like every single thing.
The main factors though shouldn't have been race, and there's a lot of things where the main factors should not be race. I've got 3 examples. So first of all, is that one. It's actually due to do with household income. The lower the household income of the household or the area, essentially, the more likely they are to commit violent crimes. In those areas, that are predominantly black, because black people have been, due to policies, due to due to redlining even, you know, employment laws, you know, black people have been put in a disadvantage where they are majority in the poor end. It's hard to see. That's why suburbs are predominantly white. You know what? Someone who's really good to look at this. If you don't want to hear it from someone like me, Adam Ruins Everything. Adam Ruins Everything covers a lot of stuff that is just, it does explain a lot. Like, these are things that we have to learn ourselves already anyway, but it does like in a nice easy 15 minutes or however long those episodes are, it'll cover it for you in simple terms. But it's more, but like in terms of that, poor people commit more than, well, the majority of
just desperate people, dude. Like that's the thing. People forget, like because there's a separation, like, or black, white, Asian, whatever. We're still people. Like, it doesn't matter what color you are. If you're like down and out, you desperate. Like, the things you are willing to do is going to be way opposite than somebody who's super confident who doesn't have to worry about shit. Like, that's just common sense. Like. That's why I hate when people throw statistics like, okay, factually on paper, this is what it means. But like, if you go on a microscopic level, there are so many factors. Like, if someone's desperate, let's just a drug addict, they're addicted to like cocaine or whatever, they can't wait for their next hit. It's really bothering them. They're willing to go suck a penis somewhere to get a fiver to get.
They gotta do what they gotta do to get that.
Yeah, we even joke about it, but we never actually then think, oh wait. The reason a person is doing that is not because they think, oh, I'm going to suck a penis today to get cocaine. It's because they are in a desperate situation. It's a sad situation. Like, it's better to actually help them, but then just go, oh no, drug people kill 99% of more than what a normal person would. Yeah, duh. Because they're addicts and they have a situation. Like, it just pisses me off when people.
So many factors, like I said.
I feel like they need to be like that. Like, it's disgusting. Oh, there was one thing that I read that it was saying that the reason why drug dealers get harsher punishments than say pedophiles and rapists is because the people lords are pedophiles and rapists. I'm not gonna say that this person isn't, this person isn't. It's the only thing that does. It's like, people ask for drugs. I ain't gonna do those myself. I don't want them because I don't need to. But people ask them, why are they being persecuted for it? What they should have, rather than doing where is it? I can't remember where it is. There's this place. I'm gonna Google it. Exactly. They decriminalize drugs completely. And open up health clinics. I want to find out where it is. Basically.
I think it's a European country.
Yeah, it's a European country.
Yeah, they were. So basically, I forgot the country, but you can go to the hospital if you're addicted to like I don't know, heroin or something. They'll give you the dose you need, any dose. The rule is you can't leave with the drugs. You have to like use it in there. They'll give you safe needles and everything. And they found out that actually reduce drug use.
By decriminalizing.
Imagine. Wow.
Yeah. Now imagine the opposite of like spend. They spend a lot of money. There's a Netflix documentary on Netflix, obviously. I think it's called The Business of Drugs or something. And I think that's a very apt example. This is a perfect title because like America alone spent billions in the fight of drugs, and they've been doing this for like decades and nothing's changed. And they're still thinking, oh, let's just keep pumping money into it. That's gonna make it go away. So if you want to reduce crimes, help people in impoverished areas. Like, that's like has nothing to do with being black or like white. Because what people think, what people forget is like people are poor in any era. White people have been poor. Like, even all of this, even during the slave trade and everything, there has been white poor people in existence. Like, that's never changed. And none of those people never get help. They are always in their negative mentality, and it just pisses me off that the answer is right there, but we're thinking, no, let's go do the more difficult thing. Like,
well, they do the thing. It's because it's certain situations. It's like a lot of things that are criminalized, like they'll criminalize things like crack cocaine and stuff like that in America. But it was also the government that flooded it in there. They flooded the streets with it to help fund the war, essentially. The same way, in the same way, like the only thing that was criminalized that really shouldn't. In fact, that's going to contradict what I said. But basically, it's a lot of like one of the things like marijuana was deemed aggressive, would cause paranoia, stuff like that.
And rape.
The fact that
don't forget that.
More funding.
Reefer madness.
Huh?
No, they also said it was going to cause like people raping white women.
And cannibalism and stuff like that. And it was like, no, it doesn't.
Wow.
But the thing is, the person who said that even though he was disproven, almost immediately after by several, I think it was like 7 or 8 different scientists had disproven it dead within months. He wanted more funding because he was running out of government funding, and then Nixon had decided to take to it and use it to criminalize it because the only people, because it was in the 60s, it was during the Cold War against Russia, and basically he wanted to. There were people that were the only people that the people that mainly used marijuana
were the childers. They're like
were hippies who were anti-war.
Make love, not war.
And Mexicans. So he used it to get rid of immigrants, to criminalize immigrants and hippies. And because they were the people that used it the most, that's where I think that spread it over to black people as well. But that's still what that was. The second instance, of where these statistics are wrong, but after time is in coronavirus right now. Coronavirus right now, you're led to believe, if you just listen to the news itself, you're led to believe that as a black person, you are 4 times more likely to die from it. Sorry, it's between 50%, 50 to 100. Sorry, it's 50 to 100% more likely, to die from it if you're black or Asian. And and if you're Bangladeshi, it's more than double that of a white person.
Wow.
When was this on the news? Was this BBC News?
Yeah, dude, this was like worldwide, dude.
Yeah, this is.
Where were you?
I watched a different video. The video I came on BBC News is that you don't need to make believe that black people and Asian people are more able to catch it than white people. That's what I heard. I didn't see this one.
Like 70%, up to 70% more likely to actually die.
I didn't hear that, boy.
Here's why I say it's correct, but it's incorrect. It's correct that we are catching this and we are dying more times. Yeah, that is correct. Yeah. However, the reasons for it isn't genetic or anything like that. It's because we work in those industries where we've been disenfranchised. A lot of the things where we can shine and actually get ourselves into a position where we're making money and we're living things. There's only a few industries where we can do that, and that's within the care and the within nursing. Care and nursing is where we thrive. We we take up a majority of that market, and because we take up a majority of the market, what are they dealing with on the front line right now? Coronavirus. They're more likely to catch it, and because they're more likely to catch it, they're also more likely to die from it. The other thing, is the fact, and also on top of that, sorry, before I can say the other thing, also we tend to live in households that are filled with more people than say a white household is. Like a white household, you might get 2 people living in a 3-bedroom house. I'm not saying that's always going to be the case. I'm not saying that is always. Like I said, there are poor white people and stuff like that, but it tends to be you get more. You get black people and people of color tend to live in more full households. That we live in close proximity. Therefore, the spread within the household is also just as effective as everything else. So we're more likely to catch it. Therefore, we're more likely to die due to those reasons. In America, it's because the community, even though they've offered free checks and stuff like that for everyone across America, hospitals within. So that's it. America, in terms of its living capacities, is still, because of redlining and Jim Crow laws, is still massively segregated. Even though America is not segregated, its laws are. Its residents, and and basically your residents determine. So like how we pay council tax, which pays for our facilities, it's the same in America, but they're paying less tax because they make less money. So there's less money to go into the communities, less things to grow up. So, and it also means you can't afford the best doctors or anything like that. So the doctors and the nurses that you are affording are the ones that did the work, and they are still. Don't get me wrong, they are still fighting. They are still doing their best. However, their best isn't, say, the best of someone who might be in Beverly Hills, California. Beverly Hills, but Compton, California would be a terrible. Like it's worse healthcare, and these people are still having to work because they really can't afford to not.
Can't afford not to. There was literally an article I read the other day where there was this landlord who was like, "Corona or not, you're still gonna freaking pay me my rent," and it was like. So, like on an individual level, people have been horrible to people, forcing other people to go risk their lives to go work. He's okay. Even though, let's say America did the I don't know, the check thing and stuff to give people, and they were like, "Oh, yeah, we spend a lot of money on people or bombs or whatever." but then they also turned around and gave millions to companies that didn't actually need it. Like in broad daylight, they didn't even freaking hide it. So like that just tells you where their priorities are. They don't actually care for the people, even though the people are the reason all of those corporations or the government is in power in the first place. So it's just like, it confuses me. So like, I want to ask one last question. So for all of us as black men now, like, how old were you when you realized the world was fucked? Like, when did your bubble burst? Because to me, it was everything. Everybody was nice. Everything was awesome. People don't do all of this diabolical shit. Then I realized, I was like, oh shit, this is how it is now. Whoa.
Okay, just before I ask that question, Malachi, how long do we have left of recording?
Huh?
How long left do we have to record?
Well, we started recording at about 7 minutes past 3.
Okay.
Dang.
Ooh.
Yeah.
We've gone over.
Yeah, we've gone over.
I say we close on that question.
Such a flow.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I was going to say something, but we had such a flow that I thought we'd just continue.
Okay.
Because if it's 2 hours for one episode, it's fine. We can go back to an hour for the next.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
It's what was I going to say?
Oh, your question. When did you know the world was effed up?
When did you realize? Yeah. Growing up.
When did I realize? Damn. For me, I think is when I came to England and I was about, I don't know, damn.
Yeah.
And deep down, I think America and England both showed me, this is now a wonderful world. This is now a happy ever after world type of whatever. Things do happen. Movies do portray it. You see it in real life, or sometimes it happens to you. I don't know. I don't remember when. I can't say when, because I think I've always been around it. But I always had the fact. I always everyone knows wrong place, wrong time. Lucky I've always been most of the time right place at the right time. But I don't know. Yeah. I think I would say when. I would say between 16, 17. Yeah.
Nice.
So myself, personally, I haven't got a when, because basically it's the case of I always feel that we can all do a lot better within ourselves. There's a lot of things I can improve on just myself. And if we all were to work together, there was a lot of things that we could improve together. And even though the world is there's a lot of bad things happening in the world. All it takes, like, the whole world could change in a day. That's how that's what it could be. So the world is going bad, but I think I'm at a level where I have I've always had a healthy level of cynicism or skepticism.
Just going by that one thing you just said, Malachi, the world can change in a day. I can't lie. Going off topic, well, the whole coronavirus happened. The world kind of did change at one point again, didn't it? Due to the climate, the less fumes in the world, the less.
Yeah.
The world actually at one point changed.
But here's the funny thing about that.
Crazy, isn't it?
Yeah.
Pollution had gone so far down from China that you could see in the sky again, because there was a guy that did how bad China's pollution was. A guy vacuumed the air for a year and made it break. Yeah.
Damn.
What's it? But you could see in the air again in China. Pollution had decreased by, I believe it was like somewhere between 70 and 90%. Animals were returning to places that they hadn't been there for years and years and years because
human interference and
had thrived. Everything. The world was returning. The only thing is though, with all that work, that was all put to waste. The second the government changed their stance from stay safe, stay home, stay safe to go to work
and go out.
Because you're going to see that coronavirus coming. When he comes out,
be aware.
Pop the coronavirus. You are come around here for your business. Yeah. As soon as that changed, in that day, that whole day, so in 2 weeks, the world has become so much of a better place that it meant the ozone layer itself had started to repair itself. We've got that was starting to repair, and it's about to come back. But in that day that lockdown had eased, people flocked to the beach, and 13,000. It was like 13,000. It was either 13 tons or 13,000 tons of just human waste. And when I say human waste, I mean paper, plastic, metal, and shit and water, because even though they could go out some more, public toilets are still shut because someone's got to clean those. But the people who've got to clean those have got a social distance, so they can't go there and clean those. So,
Lord,
dude, I just hope like
in one day,
in sea life can't catch the virus, because that would be devastating. Because like that's something we didn't even consider, that I'll say animals can catch it, and then people are gonna go swimming, have the virus. Because it does it live in water? Can it live in water? I feel like that's a dumb question, but we haven't thought about it.
The ocean is such a big place that it's unlikely to get. There's so many things that live in the ocean itself at a microscopic level that one virus would be hard to thrive. If it's something that thrives in us, it's unlikely. The main issue is the plastic pollution. You know, there's so many microplastics that work their way into fish. The things that eat the fish,
and it comes back to us.
Eat the fish, then get the microplastics into ourselves.
That's the beauty about karma, right? Where everything we do just comes back to us. Like, I think that's just in a simplistic way. Like, we're gonna go back to how we are, because in the bottom line, we're all selfish assholes. Like, we're gonna go back.
Mob mentality as well, though. The reason for it is one person will leave their shit on the beach, and then everyone else. Then the one person will leave their shit on the beach, and that one person's despicable. But rather than someone going, okay, that person's a piece of shit, but this is still our planet, we all still have to live here, let me pick up their stuff and then put it back. Or even pick up their stuff and go find them and dash it at them, and tell them to go put it in the bin. Whatever. But as long as it gets removed from the beach. But no, what happens instead is that someone will go, especially with the fear of coronavirus, so it's less likely someone's going to pick up their stuff, because they're like, what if there's coronavirus in their stuff? So I go, well, if he's going to leave his shit there, why should I take it back? Well, if if they're going to leave their shit there, why should I take my stuff back? And everyone else go, well, if they're going to leave their shit there, why the fuck? And then eventually it goes, well, no one's going to notice that I've left this here, because look how much shit's already on the beach.
Yeah.
All right, so we need a closing statement, guys, because we are now approaching 2 hours.
The 2 hour mark, So,
what would you like to say?
Well, I would like to say one thing. Growing up black, I appreciate it, because, it taught me a lot of things, and I'm black, so I'm not going to change who I am, and I'm going to keep being black no matter what. I'm not going to get no Michael Jackson disease. I ain't going to do that.
I feel growing up black, it forces you to have to know more about the world around you. Certain things, from knowing which countries you can and can't go to just what to do, what you have to do to survive, essentially. It gives it gives you a lot of skills that shouldn't be needed, but are. And you go aware, so you know what's going on.
I don't know.
You want to know how it affects you.
I literally missed everything you said. I think I'll listen to it on the podcast, Mala.
Okay.
Yeah.
Growing up black.
Well, for me, I think I learned the importance about love, as sappy as it is to say, and I think at a young age I realized it doesn't matter what color you are. And then an example I'll give you, I'll close with, was I remember one time, when people were like, oh, I want to date this color or that color, or I want to date this color or that color. I remember we were having a conversation like that amongst friends, and I was like, I don't think it matters even if you're blue or purple or something. I'll date anybody as long as I'm attracted to them. And I'm thinking that's one of the most important things. Like, we're all human. It doesn't matter our color or something. And I try to live like that. Like, I just treat people how I want it to be treated.
Yeah. In that sense, the only physical attribution that I'm like, that trumps everything for me.
Oh no! I knew that was coming.
Other than that, you can be any color. You can be
any color.
But like, it's like as long as when I'm with you, we vibe. That's that. It's like you don't like things like physical attributes are just like people change. It's hot right now. Like, they're going to look old one day.
I think. Yeah, the beauty is also like interacting with other races or people different from you. You learn so much. It's amazing the things you can learn from like people who are different from you. And to me, that really excites me, because I'm like, oh, you guys do this thing, or you don't do that. Like, it's amazing to just realize, when people have a certain way of doing things, you have a different way of doing things, and it's just awesome to be like,
we're both right.
We humans, let's like rediscover each other. It sounds dirty, but yeah.
Yeah, I was gonna say, you gotta discover somebody else, like.
Anyway, guys, it's been really good talking with you, man.
Yeah, the best way to close this is be grateful for who you are and wherever you are, because some people don't have that that ritual of being alive or being like us sheltered or not having a disability or growing up so poor they can't afford food. So I would say to close the statement, be appreciative, be grateful. Whoever you pray to, who you don't pray to, just be lucky that you're alive and enjoying what you're doing best in life. So with that being said,
awesome.
This is Inside Thoughts.
You guys have been great.
It's your boy KB, and obviously I'm going to put this all over my social media platform. So obviously now I will leave it to you, Mala. You can close it down.
I just interrupted you too early, didn't I? Yeah, I did.
Yeah, you did.
Re-say what you said, and we'll do it again.
Thank you, everybody, for listening.
Thank you, everyone, for listening. I hope you be safe. I hope you enjoyed the years to come and enjoy what you're doing now. Be happy, be appreciative to be alive, and be grateful for who you are. So yeah, this is your boy KB, the one and only. I'm gonna leave y'all to it. Stay safe.
This has been Inside Thoughts, and you guys have been great.
Have a nice day, everyone. Bye.
Have a nice day.